From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is an OU update. I'm Jenni Carlson. Oklahoma's men's basketball team went to Kansas midweek, and they suffered a loss, but Mike Baldwin joins us on the phone. And Mike, Kansas doesn't lose much at home, and they don't lose many back-to-backs. What did you see out of the Sooners in this game? They did keep it close at halftime.
Well, it's similar to the first game in that the first half they played them fairly even. They never led, and they were down by as many as 11 in the first half, but they went to their zone, used a 12-2 run, and only trailed at 3 at halftime. But then, similar to the game in Norman a month ago, Kansas just really ran on a roll and made their first 10 shots in the second half and built a 20-point lead, and that was basically the game, the first 10 minutes of the second half like the first one. So, similar to the first one, there were positive signs, but when you're playing a really good team like that, they gave up too many layups, too many fast break points, and in the end, that's just too big a hole for them to overcome.
Kansas, a team that a lot of people expect will be one of the higher seeds in the NCAA tournament. Now the Sooners have to turn their attention to a team that may be an NCAA tournament team as well. Iowa State comes to town. Iowa State's a little bit of a surprise, Mike.
Well, I guess we all should have seen it coming a little bit because they had the transfers coming in, waiting, sitting out a year. But they've won all the close games, sort of like Kansas State in football this year. They barely won the other night, beat Kansas State at the buzzer game. Kansas State led by double digits. They had Kansas last week. They're sort of the team that's finding the ways to win games right now, and they got one of the better players in the conference with Royce White, who's the big transfer, the guy that may be a one-and-done at Iowa State and go to the NBA. So he's sort of like a big point guard that can play all over the floor, tough matchup. But they don't blow your socks off, but they've been winning games to where right now a lot of people have them projected to go in the NCAA tournament. So these are the kind of games if OU wants to be a solid NIT team and close this thing out, they got to win. But it's a tough game. Iowa State's been playing pretty well.
Is this, we've talked about this before, Mike, the fact that this first part of the Big 12 schedule was so difficult for Oklahoma. Do you get the sense now they look at this game on Saturday sort of on and think, wow, this may be a little bit more manageable part of our season, that we could maybe get on a little bit of a roll here and make a push towards some postseason play?
Well, you know, Lon Kruger and his players, they all say they treat them all the same, so they don't say that. But deep down, they've got to feel that way. They had 6 of their first 9 were against nationally ranked teams. Only 2 of their final 9 will be against nationally ranked teams. Even though Iowa State's not ranked, they're a pretty good team. But, yeah, they need to win probably at least 4 more games to go to the NIT. They have some games at home. They'll have the Texas A&M's, Iowa State, teams like that that are about like them talent-wise. And when you get those kind of teams at home, those are the ones you got to win. And then Monday night, they got a quick turnaround. They get Missouri, the team that clobbered them by 38 points and led by 42 to open conference play. So I think they want to really focus on that game as well. So it'll be a fun weekend for them because, of course, Missouri's got the big game with Kansas Saturday. So they may emotionally be a little drained and think that they had it easy the first time around. So they got 2 games in 72 hours I think will be very revealing for this basketball team.
Definitely something to watch. Thanks, Mike. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.